Money laundering is not a new concept as it has been around for decades. Born in 2005, state that money laundering is a complex high-tech crime that poses a serious threat to society. According to Baldwin 2003, money laundering is a crime justified by the fact that those who launder money are looking for a way to legalize their ill-gotten profits obtained via unlawful actions, and it allows criminals to profit from their crimes. Placement refers to the initial stage of gaining access to legal financial system. Smurfing, electronic transfer, asset conversion, gambling, and insurance purchases are examples of typical placements. According to Elizabeth Woolley and Murphy Smith 2015, large sums of unlawful obtained cash are deposited into the financial system used to purchase high-dollar items or smuggle out of the nation in this phase. Schneider Friedrich 2010 states that there are two different methods that are commonly used. Using primary deposit, one can immediately deposit illegal proceeds into a legitimate financial system without attracting regulatory attention, whereas secondary deposit is an indirect infiltration of money supply into the banking system, resulting in the conversion of cash into book money via the interconnection of legal persons. According to Sodigen 2010, a layering step is carried out to conceal the illegal cash origin and make it appear legitimate. Electronic fund transfer, offshore banks, shell corporation, trusts, and intermediaries are all examples of layering. This is the stage where the illegal money is moved, disseminated, and camouflaged to hide their criminal origins. Schneider Friedrich 2010 state that multiple transfer and transaction, electronic payment system, plus divergent jurisdiction and ineffective criminal prosecution cooperation between countries sometimes simplify or facilitate the layering procedures. Elizabeth Woolley and Murphy Smith 2015 says that in order to confuse audit trails and conceal the ownership of funds, layering is performed by building various levels of financial transaction. The last stage of the process is integration, which refers to the return of funds to the legitimate economy for subsequent extraction. Elizabeth Woolley and Murphy Smith 2015 states that this step involves integrating the freshly laundered funds into legal corporate operation. Credit and debit cards, consultancies, business financing, asset sales and purchase, and import or export operations are all examples of integration approaches. According to Abdul Rahman 2014, the launderer often turns criminally generated cash into legitimate funds with no visible linkage to their criminal operation in this final stage. At this point, the money launderer will select to invest in a stock market with a high dividend yield. As a result, it will not only convert corrupt money to clean money, but also assist in investing and profiting from it.
There are several reasons or causes why people have room for money laundering. The first one, absence of legislation. Due to no legislation against money laundering, it could give a free hand to criminals, as in other cases, government are involved to earn political allies, gratify their allies, and strengthen their power. According to Europol 2006, 2007, and 2008, the financial sector is the most affected by money laundering. So, as for the financial regulatory bodies, it is crucial for them to ensure that its rules and principles are adequately implemented. The way that they can do it is examining their policies and financial regulative principles repeatedly to ensure it can be applied effectively. The second one, tax evasion. According to Zdenovic 2009, the height of the offense is deception, and it is a system of hiding the existence, unlawful sources, or application of income from offender activity. As we can see, tax evader launder money so that they could conceal the sources of their funds and assets in order to avoid paying tax. It is because it is relatively easy for people to avoid paying tax and launder money by purchasing property in relatively more stable but offshore economies. If the tax department lacks the resources to inquire about the incomes and monetary and non-monetary assets of politicians, elites and the common people. The third one, bribery. According to Zabielina 2015, money laundering is the conduct of cash for illegal activities such as to evade tax, to pay for bribes, and to maintain a low economic profile that is more useful than the use of other economic instruments. Money launderers will be able to transfer money abroad without paying tax due to the bribe deceit. Authorities have a difficult time to tracing the money's origin or destination. And the last one is failure of banks in detecting laundered money. According to Giradubli and Kumar 1999, in the banking system there is corruption for money laundering. It refers to banks' failure to detect and disclose money laundering in their reserve. It is because money launderers transmit large sums of amount to foreign banks, which some accept without conducting a thorough investigation into the source of the funds.
The economy, governance, business, and social well-being of a country are all harmed by money laundering. It is a complicated and dynamic problem that affects people all around the world. The first effect is on the business. Money launderers frequently offer items or services at less than market value, making it so much more difficult for genuine businesses to compete in the market. As mentioned by Duncan Taylor 2020, this type of scandal tends to produce negative headlines for any business proven to be involved, destroying reputations and leading customers to lose faith, driving executives to go elsewhere. The businesses might have to close down and face losses if they are involved in the money laundering and found to be guilty by the authorities. If funds from criminal activity can be easily processed through a specific business, either because its employees or directors have been bribed, the institution may be drawn into active complicity with criminals. Next, effect on the economy. According to Sanctions Scanner, money laundering harms financial sector institutions that are crucial to economic progress while also encouraging crime and corruption, which slow growth and reduce efficiency in the real economy. Besides, it has reduced tax income by making it impossible for the government to collect taxes from legal transactions. Mario Giorni, Albana Carameta Giorni, and Holta Bakokora 2015 mentioned that once money launderers have penetrated a particular economy, they will continue to invest by paying bribes to public officials in order to obtain control of the most important sectors of the economy. Due to non-compliance with money laundering, numerous financial institutions have been damaged, which led to a negative impact on development and economic progress. Lastly, effect on the society. Businesses that formerly had a legitimate source of revenue as well as public and government personnel may be enticed to join the criminal bandwagon in order to partake in the unlawful earnings. It is a critical step in making crime profitable. John McDowell and Gary Novice 2001 mentioned that it enables drug smugglers, traffickers, and other criminals to extend their activities. It also raises the expense of the government since it necessitates more law enforcement and healthcare expenditure, for example, for the treatment of drug users to fight the bad consequences.
For further understanding, we take a look of one real case that we choose, which is shell companies and money laundering. What is shell company? Shell companies are private firms designed to safeguard or conceal the assets of another company. It exists only on paper and does not have any physical locations, personal or operational assets. Shell companies are well known for a variety of reasons, such as registered agents create them to hide ownership information from other businesses. Shell companies are also a business that is commonly used for criminal purpose, including money laundering, which frequently is used to conceal unlawful funds, and the identities of beneficial owners. There are several issues of money laundering in shell companies. The first one, to launder money, shell companies typically claim monetary transactions on behalf of their customers. The anonymity of several transactions is increased, so that the chance of tracing the original beneficiary are reduced. Other than that, according to the Panama Papers 2016, it exposed many shell companies laundering dirty money from foreign accounts. Money launderers then use fraudulent invoice by creating false invoice to deposit monies into the company, which are then transferred to the criminal accounts. The last one, as mentioned before, shell companies created in offshore countries are used to avoid tax payments. In other words, it is a transaction in which the beneficiaries are frequently located in high-risk jurisdiction or offshore financial centers. However, there are some ways global regulators and financial authority can fight against money laundering and fraudulent shell company by hiding their identity. According to the Anti-Money Laundering Act, firms should conduct appropriate consumer due diligence with SAM to CDD to verify their client's identity. In other words, business verification, which refers to determining the beneficial ownership of customers' entity in order to identify whether they are shell corporation. Other than that, AML should do ongoing transaction monitoring towards shell companies. It is because the type of transaction in which the corporation engaged can be used to identify the company. Last but not least, by developing business-to-business B2B could reduce money laundering and fraudulent shell companies. Businesses should maintain a close check on their joint venture partners. Verifying crucial facts such as corporation documents and address help prevent honest businesses from forming unwelcome connection with criminal enterprise.
In my opinion, money laundering should be prevented strictly in order to protect others that are affected, such as business, economy, and society. There are several recommendations to reduce and monitor the money laundering issue. Bank Negara Malaysia, the country's regulator and central bank, regulates the Malaysian financial sector. It has established AML or CFT policy in Malaysia, employing a risk-based supervisory approach and delivering periodic guidelines to Malaysian financial institutions in accordance with the Asia or Pacific Group on Money Laundering Recommendations (APG). As mentioned by Know Your Country's website, Malaysia has AML law that is mostly up to date, as well as well-developed regulations, institutional structures, and implementation procedures. By expanding money laundering investigation, charges, and convictions, the nation has shown continued success in efforts to enhance AML enforcement. Sommer Anderson 2021 has said that anti-money laundering refers to laws, procedures, and practice designed to keep criminals from passing off illegally obtained money as legitimate revenue. Market manipulation, illegal goods trade, and tax evasion are all criminal behaviors that AML rules and regulations target, as are the methods used to conceal these crimes. Malaysia has enacted the Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001, which is AMLA. The Act defines money laundering and terrorism financing, as well as the methods that financial institutions must take to detect and prevent these illegal activities. It also describes how authorities may employ their investigative skills in money laundering and terrorism funding investigations.
In a nutshell, money laundering is a significant crime that has a negative impact on the economy as a whole, as well as the social, economic, political, and cultural development of industrialized countries. All countries, including Malaysia, have made the battle against money laundering a top priority. Since 2001, the Malaysian government and law enforcement agencies have increased their capacity and efforts to combat money laundering. Bala Shanmugam Hemala Tanasegaran 2008 states that Malaysia has taken several efforts against money laundering, including information exchange and law enforcement cooperation through applicable regulations. That's all from us. Thank you.